this is kangaroo mapping. This is my version of what if civilization started over and the countries of the world were reset, but the geography stayed the same. This idea is inspired by Adizzpro, Map Collective, and Altstein Mapping. I decided to have my version start in Canada because most of the other versions of this that I've seen start in the Middle East or Europe, and I think this will be more unique and interesting. Things will start with a country that will be red. The red team will launch several expeditions to explore their surroundings. Now a blue country and a dark green country will form. The countries will continue exploring, mostly focusing on the Great Lakes as they are easier to explore. The three countries will also start expanding their territory. Now a new country will form. So, since this is the start of this timeline's history, all the countries are monarchies, and the yellow team's monarch just died. However, they had two children, and there is a dispute between them over which one should be the new ruler. One is older and should be the ruler by the country's laws. However, the older one is quite incompetent. There is also a younger one who is more competent. The majority of the yellow team's aristocrats support the older candidate, and they become the new monarch. However, the younger one is also quite popular amongst the yellow team's population and aristocrats. One of the first things the new monarch will do is exile the younger candidate and their supporters to ensure they remove any threats to their power. The younger candidate and their supporters follow the St. Lawrence River and reach the Atlantic Ocean. There, the younger candidate decides to create their own country and start preparing to retake control of the yellow team, due to the younger candidate being afraid of the yellow team using their more powerful military against them. They keep the formation of their country a secret and cut off contact with the other countries. Meanwhile, back in the Great Lakes, the new incompetent ruler of the yellow team decides to attack the significantly more powerful green team, starting the first war of this series. Things go how you would expect. However, the red team decides to join the war on the yellow team's side. The red team wants more coastal territory because that is quite economically valuable. Additionally, they would like to become the strongest naval power, which is aided by having a large amount of coastline. The red team particularly wants more coastline on Lake Ontario. Now, they could take some extra coastline and build extra ports, but they decide that it would be easier to just take the ports that the green team already built, since the red team has a stronger military. The red team's entry into the war forces the green team to withdraw a large portion of its military from the yellow team. The green team's chances of winning are not helped by the encirclement of most of their remaining military in the yellow team. The green team has noticed that the red team seems to be about to encircle them as well. Unwilling to be encircled twice in the same war, they begin a withdrawal of their forces from the red team. With the green team's attempt to avoid another encirclement having failed, the red team and the yellow team having linked up their forces, and the green team having lost their coastline, they decide to sign a peace treaty. The terms would be quite harsh. The yellow team gains a coastline, while the red team takes the rest of the green team's coast, turning them into a landlocked nation. With their victory in the Lake Ontario War, the red team establishes themselves as the dominant naval power in the known world. Instead of continuing to expand inland, which they don't really care about, the red team uses their navy to establish settlements on the other sides of Lake Ontario and Lake Huron. Not wishing to fall behind, the blue team belatedly does the same thing. These colonies are rather rebellious, as the quite significant distance from the mainland causes a rather large amount of the people there to think they would be better as separate countries. To combat this, the red team allows their colonies to have a large amount of autonomy. The blue team, on the other hand, decides to directly control their colonies. This is more efficient, but it leads to very significant separatist sentiment amongst their colonies. The red team decides to take control of several major connection points between the Great Lakes. They put these areas under their puppet Michigan's administration as it is closest to them. However, by taking the northern connection point, the red team has prevented the blue team from connecting one of their colonies to their mainland. This greatly infuriates the blue team. And that will be the last event of this video. Thank you quite a lot for watching kangaroo mapping. I would greatly appreciate it if you liked and especially subscribed, so you would be more likely to get the next part of this series recommended.